Hey, this is Seth with In Demand Career. I show people how to get life-changing jobs in digital marketing with no previous experience or education all over the world. And that includes my very special guest today, Armari, who lives in New Zealand and took my course. He took it initially in 2018, didn't really follow through on the instructions, then came back this year and now has a $60,000 a year job in New Zealand doing SEO and PPC. And he's very happy with that. I'm very excited to share his story with you. Thanks for being here, Armari.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me, Seth. It's a pleasure to be able to talk about my experiences and actually get a chance to talk to you as well. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Yeah, it's good to have you here. So why don't you tell people first, like, what are you doing right now? What's your current job?
Yeah, so my current job is a search specialist at an agency here in Wellington, New Zealand. My job revolves around doing SEO and PPC with some Facebook ads in there as well also. So I get a really good broad overall experience in terms of digital marketing. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. And are you, how much are you making again?
60K. Yeah, New Zealand dollars.
That's really good. And is this remote? Or are you working in an office there?
Yeah, so it's flexible. There is, I do mainly work remote, and there is an office about 20-minute drive for me. So I do like to pop in the office maybe once or twice a week, but ideally it is nice working from home.
Definitely, especially these days. I don't know what the situation is like in New Zealand. I know you guys have been pretty good at containing things, but having that flexibility is awesome, no matter where you live.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell people, we'll get more into the job in a minute, but tell people where, how did you find out about the program? When did you hear about it? Like, what was your journey like?
Yeah, so I initially found the course in around, I would say, mid 2018. I finished high school in 2017, end of 2017. So from that point on, I didn't really have anything I wanted to do career-wise. I knew I wanted something very flexible with a little bit of creativity and a chance to, I guess, really use my brain in terms of a job and career field. Like I said, one that's extremely flexible. I watched a YouTube video from a YouTube creator called Improvement Pill, where he was discussing this new great career field that doesn't require a degree, which was something that really interested me at the time. And yeah, I watched that video and I knew instantly that digital marketing was the career field for me. Yeah.
That's great. And so you took the course, and what happened the first time you took the course?
Yeah, so I initially purchased the course in towards the end of 2018. Being young, I was 19 at the time. I thought I could cut some corners in the course and get away with it. Um, I found out that's really not how you're supposed to take the course at all. You're supposed to follow the course from A to Z, listen to all your advice and the coach's advices. I didn't do that. So I did get some short-term success with a couple of clients in the beginning, but really I realized that long-term that's not going to work out. So I again came back into the course at the start of this year in February and, really knuckled down and took it very seriously and realized like, hey, this is what I've been wanting to do for a while. Let's do it properly. Let's listen to all of your advice. Let's listen to the coach's advice. Let's really make the most of this incredible resource. So, yeah.
That's great, man. And so that's true. You said it, you said it perfectly, guys. You got to follow the instructions. I have a lot of people who've come back. We actually may have heard that in some of the other interviews. There've been other people who took the course, maybe, tried to rush through it, and you just won't get the same results. But you did the right thing this year, and I'm very happy for you. Tell us, you're in New Zealand. I haven't interviewed, I don't think, anyone else from New Zealand. I know Anthony, who lives in Thailand now. He's from New Zealand, but he lives in Southeast Asia. What was it like? How did all my instructions work out in New Zealand for you? Like, were you on interviews? What was it like at this interview? Were they asking you a lot about your degree or experience?
Yeah, so the basically all the skills I learned from the course were very applicable to New Zealand and really any country you're from. I really believe that. In terms of the interview process, it was very laid back conversations. It was more trying to get to know me as a person. They could already see that, I've got these skills on my CV, on my resume. They already knew I had those skills, and they can really understand during our conversation, during the interview, that that I understand the language, I know what I'm talking about, and I do have experience to back it up at the same time also. So the conversations during the interview are very much to get to know me and how my approach is to marketing and how I work, and really get to know my character and my personality. So that's kind of the approach I've seen from interviews in New Zealand. Um, I think there aren't, since we don't actually have that many people in New Zealand, we have a population of over 4 million. I think it's close to 5 million now. So there aren't that many digital marketers around. So there's quite a big demand for digital marketers, especially now compared to when I first took the course in 2018. So there's been a big surge in demand for digital marketers, especially in this world we're living in now with COVID and a kind of a post-COVID transition. So, you know, all the businesses are moving online, and there's a lot of demand for marketers like ourselves. So yeah, it's definitely, I think it was very helpful knowing that I have those skills, knowing that people are demanding those skills, and it's really just to get to know me and my personality and how I'd fit into those roles. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did it go when you got hired? I mean, how did it feel to actually get the job offer? Were you
Oh,
surprised? You excited?
yeah, it felt great. It was a really nice relief to really go like, hey, I've made it, I've done it. You know, this was something that I've been wanting to do since I was 18. I'm 22 now, so that's what, you know, a 4-year process of really getting, and I getting to that point where I feel like I've done it, I've made it, and yeah, it was a really good satisfaction of feeling that, hey, yeah, like I said, I've done it, but at the same time knowing that the chapter is still going. You know, I've got to improve my skills and develop into this role, and take those marketing skills further, like I am doing now. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, you're just at the very beginning. And what did your family think? Did they have any pressure on you to go to college? Were they surprised that you got this job?
Yeah, so there wasn't really any pressure to go to college or I guess you call it university here. So there was not really any pressure to go. Really, they were just wanting me to know, I guess, um, yeah, just knowing that I'm actually doing something right and I'm picking a career field that's going to be prosperous long term. They didn't really know much about digital marketing at all, so which is a common case for I think a lot of people. So when they found out that I got the job, I guess they were quite surprised, like, oh wow, he's the thing that he's been talking about for years. He's actually managed to
Mhm.
successfully do it. So yeah, they were surprised and relieved that that I've got this career field that's going to last for hopefully a really long time. Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Definitely, guys. As long as there's the internet, there will be these jobs. That's great to hear, man. I mean, it's a really, you know, as you said, yeah, most parents and most people don't know about this field. It's totally normal. And that's great. So when you have a skill set that most people don't understand, that's a good thing because it means there's not many people can do it. And all your parents and your family know is that you have a secure job that you enjoy, and that's all they really care about. Um, what else was I going to ask you? What what is it, you know, what's the day-to-day like at your job? Do you enjoy the work that you're doing?
Yeah, I really do enjoy the work. I guess the average day to day is really just first thing in the morning, you know, checking the emails, responding to anything overnight or the day before that I wasn't able to. And really it's working through the clients that I have at the moment. So, and just delegating those tasks, whether that's me doing keyword research for SEO, allocating some time to do that. Excuse me, whether that's a couple hours in the morning or a few hours in the afternoon. So really the day-to-day process is really just prioritizing what what exactly I need to do during the day, and going from, hey, this is the most important thing, let's get it done first thing in the morning, and really just throughout the day going down the priority list. So
Sure. What kind of clients do you have? How much ad spend are you managing?
yeah, so the clients we have at this agency are just small to medium-sized businesses in New Zealand. The ad spend is usually around in the thousands. Probably the most I've seen is probably around 7,000. So it's not, you know, crazy numbers, but at the same time, it is a lot of responsibility to
Yeah.
sure that it's being spent properly. Yeah.
Yeah, and how many, like, so seven, you know, a few thousand a month, but that adds up. You know, my first job, I was managing about 100,000 a month, but it was about 30 to 40 clients. How many of these accounts are you managing?
So for me personally now, I'm still, what I was really good about the agency I'm working in now is that they've done a really good approach of, I guess, slowly drawing me into the whole marketing process. Um, just really like very baby step at a time, which is quite nice, and a lot of training as well during the job. So at the moment, I'm working with, I would think, about 4 clients at the moment. And towards the end of the year, that's obviously going to be decreasing to about 2. So yeah, I don't get too many clients to work with at the
Well, why
moment,
is it decreasing at the end of the year?
just because we're closing down for the Christmas period and New
Oh,
Year
I
period.
see.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's really, you answered another question that people usually have, which is that, yeah, you came in, you had limited experience. These are real clients. And again, this is how you move on to be like some of my students you've seen managing 6-7 figure budgets. You start out with this smaller accounts. So then they basically provided you with training and support. So they didn't just throw you a bunch of businesses and say, here you go, kid, good luck.
Yeah. So the process was really like, I started the job in August. So I had about a training period of about 3 months. This is now my 4th month. So I'm really, this month, really, I'm getting into it. These past couple of weeks, I've been really getting into the deep end, really, of digital marketing. So yeah, it was a very nice, slow process of training and support, which was really good, especially for those who are just wrapping up the course or fresh in the course, knowing that most likely whatever job you take, you'll most likely get a lot of training and support during the job. Yeah.
That's very common. Yeah, yeah. I mean, again, you painted the picture with even with a small country like New Zealand said that there's still a high demand and low supply. That means that even if the job posting says, you need XX, all this stuff, they're not getting people like that. By the way, I'm just curious, the job that you applied for, what did it say on the posting? Did it say, complete newcomers welcome, or did it say like you should have 1 year experience, 2 years experience? What did it actually say?
Well, that's actually the funny thing. There wasn't a job application going. I actually emailed the agency just inquiring, do they have any positions that will be available in the future? I sent my CV along, and I actually got a response in a couple of weeks with a interview. So if you guys are looking for jobs, also just inquire to agencies. Don't just look on LinkedIn and whatever job agency sites. Get in touch with those agencies, give them a call, give them an email. You'll be quite surprised at what could happen. So yeah.
That's very encouraging. And that is part of what I teach in the course. So some of you guys, yeah, I know, like you said, you have to go through all the steps. And obviously you did follow my instructions because I tell you, I even provide a list in the course of like 100 agencies. And that's just from my own research. And it's just, there are 5 in the US, and I'm obviously mostly focused on the US. There are 5,000, at least 5,000 agencies. And in other countries, there are also tons of these agencies, and you can go directly to them, as well as applying for jobs on LinkedIn. But what you did was exactly right, because you never know. These agencies have a lot of turnover, not because it's a bad field, but because people are always getting recruited. So, they know it's like a free agent in baseball or in football or so, they know if you get really good, someone else is going to try to get you, and then they have openings. And there's a lot of turnover. So, you contact that agency you really want to work at. They might not have openings now, but they may have one in a few months. So that's really awesome. So there wasn't even a job posting and you got the job. That's fantastic. Very inspiring. So listen, man, I'm happy for you. And I think it's really cool that, you're obviously sharing your story from a totally different country, a totally different part of the world. Guys, these jobs are in every country pretty much, especially Australia, New Zealand, Europe, North America. We even had people in Hong Kong, Singapore, a lot of different countries get jobs. So if you live in New Zealand or down under, if you live in Australia, New Zealand, you want to talk to Armari, can people reach out to you on LinkedIn?
Yeah. People can reach out to me on LinkedIn, Armari Waterworth on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, really any social media, you'll be able to find me. So yeah.
Sweet.
I'm always happy to help out. Any questions, or whether that's regarding the course or just digital marketing in general, or really just anything, genuinely, honestly, reach out and I'll be happy to help.
That's so great, man. And you don't have to live in New Zealand or Australia. Anybody can reach out. And I love that you guys are so open and willing to help people that are interested in the field. And that's great. And this was cool, giving an interview in the middle of the day. I never do that. I'm always interviewing in the first thing in the morning or at night. But you and I are like, what, 6 hours apart, I think.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. So anyway, man, is there anything else you want to say to me or anybody watching the video before we finish up?
Yeah, I guess really just a shout out to everyone in the course. There's a group chat called Global Marketing, so shout out to everyone in that group chat. I can't list names because I'm going to forget people, but you guys know who you are. Shout out to all the friends in New Zealand and overseas, and special shout out to some of my friends, James and Adam. Special shout out to you guys who'll be watching this video. So yeah.
And do you have anything you want to say to anyone who's thinking about taking the course?
Yeah, if you guys have inquiring about the course or have any doubts, hesitations about the course, watch these YouTube videos that Seth has. Generally, flick me an email or send me a message on LinkedIn, Facebook. I'll be happy to go through my experience with the course and how that was like. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask. And I'm sure that they can reach out to you, Seth, too, if they have any specific questions. And really, this is by far, hands down, the best investment I've ever made in myself. So if that's not encouragement, then I don't know what is.
Well said, my friend. Thank you very much. And yeah, guys, you can message him, any of my students and myself, anytime. And we're happy to give you feedback because we love to share the possibilities and the opportunities in this field. So thanks again for being here, Mari. We'll stay in touch. I'm sure, keep me posted on your progress, and we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Seth. It was a pleasure to be able to do this interview with you, and a pleasure to be on YouTube. I think this is my first time on YouTube, so it's great.
Welcome. Awesome, man. All right, we'll see you.
See you later.